Folks, we are facing really rough times. All it will take is a click of the map, a click of a turn to get us into the United States into turmoil. So I think that we're there. There's a lot of people that mockingly say, Donnie, all you're doing is you're acting like preppers. You're scaring the community. You're doing this. But if you look at all the signals and all the signs, there's a heck of a lot more than me just saying it that's pointing in that direction. And I think I'm probably preaching to the choir in here, but there's probably a lot of people in here that know this, have followed it closely. And if you look really closely, you can see that the signs are pointing toward trouble in the near future.
Not only do we have a lot of man-made issues, but we have a lot of weather issues also. There's a lot going on. If you follow around the country about when these events happen, if you haven't seen, if you have access to YouTube, you need to go on YouTube and see in some of these communities in the Northeast, in New York and New Jersey and those areas, and see what those people are going to. Now, in my opinion, a lot of those people brought it upon themselves because they had over a week's notice that this was going to happen. But I saw some videos where people were begging for the government to come in and bail them out. Let me tell you something, the government is not going to bail you out. And if they do, there's going to be some prerequisites for them doing that. They don't give you anything. There's always going to be a condition that they give you anything. You're better to depend upon yourself, do the things that you need to do to prepare your family for an event that could happen at any time. We've had tornadoes in our area. You know, we're on one of the biggest earthquake faults in the United States. It runs right down the Mississippi River. So there's a lot of issues here, along with what Donnie's talking about, that we're dealing with, you know, possible, almost an insurrection, you know, if depending on how this thing goes and how the buttons are pushed. So that's kind of why we wanted to bring Chris in, let him give you an idea of the minimum things that you need to do to be able to sustain yourself and your family for, I think you need 6 months, you know, as a starting point in my opinion. But, you know, 5, 6 days, 7 days, whatever, you know, and I'll leave that to your opinion.
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate that. And also, this 900-mile swath all the way up the East Coast has caused a lot of people a lot of problems. And I bet they're wishing they had some of the information that Chris has tonight to give us. That is a scenario that's man-made. I mean, it's a nature-made, and you can look at it many different ways. But in a disaster or in a time of turmoil, or our country turns sour, we are going to be needing information. And I feel that at least this community and a lot of people around the communities will be relying on the Tea Parties at that point as leaders in this, the Campaign for Liberty, all of those guys, they're going to be looking to us as leaders. It's because we know this information and we've prepared for it. So when that day happens, I just kind of want to be there and want to be the first ones there. So if you're in for a good night. So let's give this gentleman a hand and thank you for being here.
Good evening, everyone. I do my thing a little different. I don't get up here and jump on a soapbox, preach, all that good stuff. I ask questions, have you ask me questions, in return give you answers. A little bit about my background. I am a Marine, 0331 machine gunner, B-Bill at 8152 Security Forces. Retired 7 years ago from the United States Federal Air Marshal Service, so I've been inside the belly of the beast. I love this country. I'm a party member of one party. That's MEU, me and you. Yep. This is why I'm here. Ooh, that one doesn't do too good. Not for what it is as a whole, but for what makes it. Each thread in this flag was put on there by the blood of an individual that died for it. Think about that. Think about the people that have given their lives for this country. And now what we have to do. I want to apologize before I get started if some foul language comes out. That's the Marine. I'm going to try to keep it very clean for these young men over here. I get emotional because I truly feel that emotion is what drives us as human beings. I have my own views. I'm not a Tea Party member. I'm not a Liberty Party member. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm an American. There's what I am. I'm not a politician. don't like politics. If we do something that goes wrong, and after tomorrow, if something does go wrong, if I need to step up and take another oath to defend this country against foreign and domestic, I'll be standing on my feet. Not as good as what they were 20 years ago, but they still work pretty good. What I do is I go out and speak to people. I train. I do women's self-defense classes, self-awareness classes. I do firearms courses. I'm an NRA certified pistol, rifle, shotgun, and just about anything else that you can imagine instructor. I go out and do property assessments. I go out and look at people's property and say, hey, look, you know, if this is what you're wanting to do and this is where you want to start preparing at, this is what you need to do here. This is the water source that you need. You're lacking in this, you're lacking in that. I go out to some people's houses and they get mad at me. I'll tell them, sell it, get rid of it. Well, I've worked for 20 years to get this place. Sorry, if this is the purpose of what you want this property for, you're sitting 20 miles away from downtown Chattanooga. Guess what? Not a good place to be. There's how many people that are going to be here, and if something goes wrong and they get hungry, where are they going to go? Everybody's going to head to the woods. Everybody's going to head out to your piece of property. Not saying you can't do it. Not saying you can't go into the thing. I'm not crazy. I don't believe in some of the things on this TV show, not to give it any more credit than what it is, doomsday preppers, as I was been labeled. I know two of those individuals personally, and the thing that they did on that show was they went up to you and they said, what's your worst case scenario? If you ask me what my worst case scenario is, zombie apocalypse. I'm ready for them, guys. I want them all. Come on, feed me. And it sounds funny, but if I prepare for a zombie apocalypse, there is nothing that's going to surprise me. Okay? And people go, man, you know what? That's funny. You're going out here, you're saying that all this stuff is over here and zombies and this, that, and other. Situation in our past called the Holocaust. Didn't happen in some people's minds. Those individuals were starved so bad that their brains did not work anymore. All they strived for was food. What's a zombie? What are all these shows on? They strive for food. If people get hungry enough, if you get hungry enough, you're going to do whatever it takes to eat. That is human nature at its basis. This is where you're at. If your child is hungry, you're going to feed that child something, however you can get it. My question is to you guys, why not go ahead and put up some beans? Why not put up some rice? Why not have some water put away? Why not go ahead and prepare for it? And if it doesn't happen, guess what? If the inflation keeps going up, that freeze-dried beef you have that you bought for $27 for a number 10 can that's got 48 servings in it, it's $263 now for the same can. If you don't think it's true, look at 1915, 1930, 1940 and look at the difference in price of what it's gone up. Exactly those percentages, that gain, that there. We complain about spending $4 on gas, but we'll spend $5 on a cup of coffee. Where the heck? Kids in here still? Sorry beforehand. Where the heck do we get this mentality of, I can spend $5 for coffee, and I'm guilty. I'm a coffeeholic. I would drink coffee every day, would have a cup right now, but they only had water out because Dan made them shut down the coffee shop in the back. No, not really. But we complain about this, and we complain about gas, and I don't know about you, but any of us can walk to where we need to usually. Might not be able to get there as quick, but we could probably do it if we had to. But I can't eat air. And the price of flour has went up 65%. When we're going through life and we're trying to prepare ourselves, we're trying to prepare our children, we tell them they need to do this, and they need to do this, and they need to do this. It's the same thing of preparing for whatever the future is going to come up, guys. You need water. You need firearms. Not necessarily to protect yourself. I think you're going to. You're going to need those things. But what about just simply putting food on the table? Now, if you got 500,000 people running around chasing those same 3 deer, it's going to be a little harder. But it may be in a situation where you need that. Where you need it on the defense side of things is why is the Second Amendment here? Had the conversation a second ago. Go ahead. Woo, wait a minute. Who was that? Was it Lincoln? Was it Lincoln that said that we have the right, duty, and obligation to defend this country against a tyrannistic government? Pretty smart guy. Both sides like him. You have certain areas in which I think you need to be prepared in. First and foremost is the rule of threes. I can survive for 3 minutes without oxygen before I start to get brain damage. Did you have a question? Oh, sorry. It's a yarn question. I have 3 minutes without oxygen before I start to get some type of a brain damage or something of this nature. I have 3 days without water before I can die. I have 3 weeks without food before I can die. So, first of all, I've got to breathe. That's a no-brainer. Secondly, I need water. So you better make sure wherever you're at, if you're in the city and you're on city water, I might want to have a stockpile of water someplace if it's natural, if it's man-made, if it's little yellow people jumping out with airplanes saying, I'm coming to collect the debt that the American government has sold out to me. Okay? You might want to have a water source someplace, if it's a creek, a well, or something, and you better have a way to make it clean. Because if anybody's ever had dysentery, not fun. I've been there several times, and it still bothers me today. So a lot of the Vietnam guys that are in here, I'm sure you guys know where we're at on that. Third is food. Food's easy. Everybody talks about it's such a hassle to put back food. No, it's not. No, it's not. If you spend $250 in a week on groceries, you're going to spend $260 a week for preparing your groceries because it costs a little more for them to have that shelf life. But you can go out for a family of 4, which it looks like I might be right over there. For about a family of 4, you can go out and for around $1,500 to $2,000, you can put up food that you're going to be able to eat. I ain't talking steak. I'm not talking lobster. I'm talking rice and beans and some flavoring to go in them, some chicken bouillon or some beef bouillon or whatever you decide to do on that. You can come up with some other types of beans and things of that nature to put in there. And you can do it for $1,500 or $2,000. Don't let these other companies fool you. Now, I don't want to survive. I want to live. So I want that can of meat, and I want that can of this, and I want to have some Yoder's bacon. And I'm not supporting anybody's. Yoder's, you got some good stuff. You've got all these products that are out there that are great. Thrive Food Company, one of the greatest companies I know, okay? Stood up and said, hey, we're not selling out to FEMA, which most of your other major freeze-dried companies did. I don't think you guys realize that, but FEMA came in and bought out all the products for freeze-dried companies for most of the United States companies for up to 3 years. Why does FEMA need 3 years supply of everything that they can make? That's not a 3 year supply of food. That's 3 years of whatever they can push out their doors. Yeah, exactly. You know, those products are great, and if you have the funds to spend on them, do it. It's going to make your life a lot better. I don't believe in survival. If I'm in a survival situation, I'm in Iraq or Afghanistan, and I'm over there fighting door to door, I'm kicking them in, and I got bullets flying at me, okay? And I'm by myself because I'm not surviving if I got my brother watching my back. I'm living. I might be living on the edge, but I've got it. If I'm by myself and everybody in the unit's gone down and I'm by myself, then I'm surviving. That's survival. Being self-reliant is what I'm talking about. Preparing now for what may happen tomorrow, and if it doesn't happen tomorrow, good, your kids have got something to have on. They may have a rough time. You may lose your job and have to go into your food stores to use them. That's what it's there for, guys. It doesn't mean I'm taking this 200 pounds of rice and I'm going to sit it over here until it goes raw or goes rancid and bad and rats get into it. If I got to use it, I'm going to use it. I'm going to cycle through it. I'm going to put it out there. Property. Everybody's always like, well, I need property. You need to have a place to go. Doesn't have to be your property. I'm not telling you to go steal something from somebody, but everybody in this room pays taxes, I hope. So we have national parks, state parks. You own part of those, guys. If you have to go, go. Get away from it. Don't be in town. Don't get stuck in that stuff. When the sheep start getting hungry, there's no wolves are going to eat good, but the sheepdog's the one that's got to keep it all done. And hopefully everybody in here is a sheepdog. I don't want a wolf. They cause too much havoc, deplete everything that happens. I want sheepdog that's going to keep everything corralled, make sure everything's good to go. Not saying I have to oppress anybody. I'm saying I want to make sure that today I've got something to eat and tomorrow I have something to eat, not that I ate everything today. You got to have those plans. You can't do it by yourself. I'll guarantee you that. I don't care if you have a family of 6 or 7, you still can't do it. You better have a couple of families together. The way my setup goes is we have groups. Once we get to 20, we split. We get together. We're not out here Ramboing it every day and going through and stuff. We do firearms training. We do that. We do marksmanship training. Appleseed program is one of the best programs I think there is out there to go out and learn basic marksmanship. They can actually get you up to an instructor's level within a weekend. And I'm telling you, if you think that that's impossible, go shooting with them. They have some of the best civilian instructors, military instructors, and federal instructors you'll ever see. Great program. Go check them out. We get together and we'll go through basic system of how do I purify water traditionally? Well, pretty easy. I get a cone-shaped filter if that's using sticks or a piece of cloth or whatever. I go with the light sediment or a heavy sediment in the bottom, grass, something of that nature. Then I go with gravel, then I go with the sand, then I go with the charcoal-based burnt logs, whatever, and repeat that process 4 or 5 times. Have it sitting over a hole. I got some type of a container in the top. I start pouring water in it. I'm pretty well filtering that water by the time it gets down. It's going to taste like crap. It's going to taste like everything that was in the soil. But the chances of my stomach going and everything coming out of here and here are a lot less if I do that. Boiling water, it's good to get it to a boil. 148 degrees is about what you have to get it to start killing stuff for about 5 minutes. It doesn't have to actually come to a boil. Anybody that's ever been out west, Colorado, and places like that and tried to boil water, doesn't work real good. So knowing that when you're cooking at home or if you don't cook and your wife's cooking, your girlfriend's cooking, or whoever's cooking, get a thermometer, put it in your chili. Put it in your spaghetti sauce. Put it in the water you're cooking in the morning. And when you start seeing it get to that 150 degree mark, stick your finger in it. It ain't going to burn your skin off. It's not going to melt your finger away. Stick it in there. Start getting used to feeling that temperature. Because I ain't got a thermometer out in the woods. I need to know about where I need to be. And then when I get to where that temperature is at, where it feels like it's the same temperature in my mind, and I've got my mind set there, muscle memory, the whole 9 yards, I'm going to be able to let that sit for several minutes at that temperature and be able to realize that, hey, this is probably safe for me to drink now. Fast-moving, white water, good drinking water, especially in the mountains of Tennessee. Not a guarantee, but if I have to, that's where I want to go get that source of water from. I want it to be moving. If it's a stagnant pond, you need to have other materials and stuff. I carry my bag with me all the time. Usually there's a big old knife in the back of it. In that bag right there, I can survive for about 4.5 days. Usually I have my firearm in there, and I'll answer questions about that in a minute when people want to ask. But I carry a basic supply of food, water. I got a metal canteen so I can cook in it. I make char cloth in it. I can do all my basic cooking supplies in there. Single wall canteen. You don't want a double wall. They'll split on you if it's cold, or if it gets too hot, they'll split on you, and then you don't have a system to cook in. I do carry a collapsible bladder because I can carry dirty water in it to transfer into my can. I don't necessarily carry that to drink straight from, but I have that. I've got some advanced medical training, so I do carry a full medical kit in there, IV starts, certain medications that I've had prescribed to me, things of that nature. Guys, it's not illegal to go to your doctor and say, hey, I'd like to get a supply of antibiotics and this, that, and other. I need to have this. I want to have this put up. He's not going to give you a year's supply of antibiotics, guys, but he might give you 90 days. I think Tennessee law says they can do that. You can go through and you can have that stuff. Now, don't go in and say, hey, I would like to have 550 Lortab 5 or 10. Not going to happen. My fiance's at FNP. Those people come in every day. Usually you see them on the cover of Busted. Okay? Don't get put on Busted. Okay? Put back the stuff you need. Antibiotics are very dangerous. When you start taking them when you don't need to take them, it creates strands of viruses and things and all that nasty stuff that I don't even have a clue about that makes stuff bad. So if you do decide to do that, make sure, please, 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 please make sure that you have the knowledge of how to use them. If you don't, you can get yourself in a lot of trouble and the rest of the country in a lot of trouble. It only takes one person to come up with something nasty to get it spread around. You're seeing a lot of that in New York right now with the floods. The rats are coming out of the sewers, bringing up a lot of crap with them. And we've got stuff that we haven't seen in the U.S. in decades. Okay. I suggest a good quality backpack. It's the second thing I'll tell you to spend the majority of your money on. Go spend 150 bucks. All right? And that's for an everyday carry bag, and you get into your bigger bags and you can spend more. Now, the first question for you guys. What do you guys think, and the people who have heard me speak before don't answer, what do you guys think the most important thing after water is to have? Fire. Got fire. Time out. So I've got fire. Food. Blade. Peanut Gallery wins it here with the blade. Your most important thing that you want in your bag is going to be a blade. I'm going to run out of bullets at some point in time. Don't care how many you got. If the bad guys keep coming, if the zombies keep coming, you're going to run out of bullets. It's inevitable. We don't have enough of them. I have a lot of them. I don't have enough of them. That's why I keep buying more. Okay? A blade's going to be the most important tool that you have in your bag. I can defend myself with it. I can provide myself food with it. I can build structure with it. So you need to spend quality money on a quality blade, and that might not be the U.S. dollar. 2 cents worth of our normal value, so I won't go into that one either. So invest in it while the dollar's still worth something. Get out there, put that money toward buying a quality blade. You're probably going to spend 200, 250 bucks. There's a couple out there that are really good. Habilis Bush Tools, small company out of Dalton, Georgia. Phenomenal. Habilis, Homo habilis, the first tool maker. And if you ask me to spell it, Stephen Staten would kill me. There you go. Habilis Bush Tool. And he does have a site. You can go on to Facebook and find him if you're a Facebook person. That $200 to $300 range is where his knives run. I've literally batoned, I think it's 25 red oak 3-year cured logs in a row, batoning them out with a stick and a hammer, and never even dulled it. Still do fine work. Peel an apple. That's my test for a blade. I don't care how big it is. If I can still peel an apple with it, I can use it. Because I want to be able to use it on my food as well as use it on brush as well as use it for defense. 5 to 6 inch blade is about what you want on that. If you guys have a chance, if you want to look at how to use stuff and do things of that nature, Dave Canterbury and the Pathfinder organization, Dual Survival, he's the one that's on there, short army guy, phenomenal. His videos from before he was on the TV series, wealth of knowledge, great individual, great American, does what he needs to do. Can teach you a lot. He has a thing called The Gathering twice a year now, I think it is, in Ohio and a couple other places. He does training throughout the U.S. On a lot larger scale and a lot more intense than I do. But he's great at what he does. I do classes as well. That's that traditional type self-reliance type courses. That's where I get the term self-reliance is from Dave. I steal that from him. I've always believed in I don't want to survive. I want to be living. So that's his concept with whatever he does. So your knife's there. That's going to be your probably number one downfall. This is not. These are not important, guys. No, it's a phone. So when you decide that you have to go have that new smartphone and spend 450 bucks on it, okay, go spend $45 and buy a pay-by-pay phone at Walmart or whatever, and spend the other $300 on something you can use to survive when time comes. So we got that out of the way with the most important tool in there. Questions from you guys. What are some of the questions you want so we can kind of hit on that stuff, and then I'll go back to preaching and stuff afterward. What are some questions that you guys have about preparedness so it'll lead this conversation where we need it to go?
How is this preparing the stocking food up? I understand that the United Nations has got a law about the World Food Act, about preparing for food, and now I understand that there's some quote-unquote executive orders have been passed about where they can come to your house
Mm-hmm.
and commandeer everything that you've got, even your wife, your daughter, your sons, and put them into slavery, et cetera, and all that. So how are we going to get around stockpiling this food up, weaponry or whatever?
But
Coming in and taking over?
that organization I talked about in the beginning, me and you, if me and you stand up and say, no, this is not right, and we're not going to let it happen in our house, and you do the same, and you do the same, and you do the same, and it spreads out of your household to your community, and your community to your state on up to that federal level, which I really don't have a care in the world for. Been there, worked for them, love it. Enjoyed my service with them, but you know what? We've screwed that up so bad now as a nation that, and it's all of us. Guys, it's all of us. We don't think it's us, but it's all of us. So we have to fix it all. We have to make those choices and change that. Talking about rules and regulations. Hi, camera. Tennessee has a law in the books right now that says that you cannot have more than 30 days food supply in your house at one point in time. Because it comes from the depression on food hoarding, and that you should be able as a, it's concept of what they were trying to do is just, well, I won't say just, is controlled. But what they're trying to do is make it equally spread. If I'm rich enough to go out here and buy and fill this room up with stuff, that's my right to do that. But they're saying the community is more important than the individual. Can I argue that? Because all of us are more important than me. We truly are. Because that's how we stand. I'm not going to make, I mean, I can make a difference, but I mean, if we all stand up, that's when we make a movement.
How do they regulate that anyway?
Let it go back to a depression era, wait until after tomorrow and let certain people get back in office. If they do, let things start going wrong in the street, and then them to find out, I've got a food supply, I'm on camera right now. I put myself out there. I have guns, I have ammo. I believe in the Constitution of the United States of America and willing to defend it with my life. I'm not a communist, I'm not a terrorist, I'm an American. I believe in the Constitution of the United States. But I'll guarantee you if shit goes wrong tomorrow, excuse my language, young men, if it goes wrong tomorrow, I'll be getting a visit. But I can tell you this, I've served in the military, I've served in the federal government. I can tell you that I can honestly tell you out of the thousands of people I know, 10 guys, 10, and I can name their names, but I won't, that would take an order to come take your stuff. 10 out of thousands. We used to have a saying in the Marine Corps, don't piss off the guys with the guns. The guys with the guns in the military are us, guys. These aren't the rich, these aren't rich people sitting up here at the top of the mountain doing this. The people that are fighting for our country are just like me and you. They feel it as well as we do. They have that sense of pride within our government. We have a training right now going on in our military service, and if you don't believe me, get on YouTube. They have videos of it. It's called The Inevitable Downfall of the Economic System in the U.S. They are training the military to fight against the civilian populace and using the Constitution to do it. They are using the Constitution by saying that you have the right, duty, and obligation to defend this country against foreign and domestic. That's a very perverted version of what that constitutional meant, that constitutional subject, that quote, that oath that I made means. When I hear that domestic part, that means that I have to defend the domestic people here, me and you. Not that I have to defend the government against them, but I have to defend the government, or the people against the government. And our president, since day one, has said we have the right, duty, and obligation to do so. Not that we have the obligation to defend the government against the people. It's, yeah, well, the businessman's your government now. That's my own opinion. We have, politicians aren't there. It's the guy that's got the money that's running the show. Your Bloomberg organizations, things of that nature. Now I'm on the list. With that name thrown out there. That's the way I see it. It's the me and you organization and group. And if me and you stand up and do the right thing, and it spreads out to this gentleman and his wife, and this gentleman and his wife, and then now we've done what we need to do. And guess what? I hate to be doom and gloom, but we might not win right off the back. We might get our butts whooped for a while. Why? Because you got to have the numbers to do it. And people, there's too many sheep and too many stupid people in this country. I'm sorry. Find me. Say that I'm a bad guy. Say that I'm whatever. But I'm here.
They can only take it if you let them.
There you go. Amen.
Get it out of my cold.
Hallelujah. Dan, what you got?
Chris, how important do you feel like communication from shortwave, that sort of thing, you know, inter-group communication?
We had this conversation while we were down in, what was the name of the place? Ottawa. When we were down there, we had some gentlemen come in with shortwave and talking about ham radios and stuff. And I like communication. I'm not against it. I'm not someone that says you don't need it, because I think it's a valuable resource and it's something that you should learn. It's something you should have. But that's not the top priority on my list. My mindset is there's so many techie people now that even if a whole, say worst case scenario, EMP goes off, grid goes down, there's no electricity, there's no nothing like this, I'll guarantee you, stake my name, life, and everything else on it, I'm going to give it less than 72 hours and someone's got the internet back up. Some 12-year-old is going to have stuff back up and going, okay? So to me, that's 20th or 21st down the list after property, water, food, ammo, training. Guys, and this is not a push for what I do, but I have a quote that I put on everything that I say. If I have one, I have none. If I have two, I have some. If I have three, I may have enough. And if it's important enough for me to have, you better have it too. And if you don't know how to use it, throw it away. I don't care how much you gave for it. Why do I need $22,000 worth of medical equipment that I have no clue of how to use? Luckily, I have an FMP at home. She knows how to use all that stuff. But I don't need it if I don't know how to use it. Having a small amount of that type of stuff in case you run into somebody that can and you have that situation where it can be used is good. But that's going to be further on my personal agenda than it is for, say, someone that's an LNP or LNP. A nurse practitioner or a PA or an MD. You know, that's something that they want to have because that's their profession. Me, I want guns and ammo. That's my profession. That's what I know how to do. Boots on the ground, guys. That's all I know how to do. I'm not a real smart individual. I'm not a dummy. I see things coming, but these are what made my career. It's what I'm very good at. They're getting older, broken up, and they hurt as much when I do stuff now. But that's where it's at. As far as communication, it's important, but I think it's a further down the list thing in my personal opinion.
You talk about me, you, they, them, all
Mm-hmm.
of us. How do you go about getting into one of these little groups or even starting one of these groups? What do you do?
Hi, I'm Chris. How are you doing
Exactly,
today?
but
Because you're here. This is where you want to talk to everybody here. You may not have the same mindset as this gentleman. You know, he may be, I got to jerk out this Bible and thump it every single day. And that's fine. I'm not saying there's something wrong with that. And you may be more on the line of, I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus and God. But my moral compass is going to bend a lot more than your moral compass is when shit gets hit the fan. Excuse my language again. But that's where it has to be. You have to come to things like this. You have to go to your local military stores. Not everybody there is militia. Not everybody there is crazy. You have a lot of people coming in and buying stuff, and just meet people. Introduce yourself to people. Go to gun shows. Great area to meet people. You know, those are the things to do. The best place to start is with those people that you know the best. They might not believe the same way as you do, but I can get you to prepare in some manner if you love me. If you're a loved one, I can get you to go. My father, for, I don't know, first 25 years of my life, huge Second Amendment guy. Loves his guns, loves to hunt and fish. Swore there was no use on earth for black guns, AR-15s, AK-47s, nothing. He could do what he needed to do with his bolt action rifle. And he can. But like I used to tell him, what are you going to do with your bolt action rifle when I come after you with my AR-15? Exactly. Okay? My father came to me 3.5 years ago and says, Chris, I want you to build me an AR-15. I said, okay, Dad, let's get it going. You go get your lower, I'll build it up for you, and this, that, and other. Didn't question it, didn't ask a word. Then he goes, because I think I've said my whole life that I was never going to have to be put into this situation where I had to use something of that nature to defend my family and myself. He says, it's inevitable. Unless I have a heart attack tomorrow, at some point in time, I feel that I'm going to have to defend my family. It may not be because the country went to crap, but it might be because the craps came to this country. It might be the crap that's running around the sewers going, hey, I'm going to have another kid so I can afford a car. I heard that the other day, sitting in the clinic. I heard a lady say that she wanted to have another baby so she could get a car. Wow. That's all I could say was, wow. That's the mindset of people today. That might be the crap that shows up on your doorstep because they're hungry or because they didn't get their new car, whatever it may be, if they needed drugs or whatever else it is. So you may have to be able to defend yourself in that way. So we got him together. Meeting people, starting with your own family. My thing with my father was, and my mom was more of it, we've always been preppers. I can't ever remember not prepping. It's grown up country. We jarred food every year. We canned. I can meat. I'm probably the youngest guy in the world that still cans meat. We hunt, we fish. I mean, through my childhood, probably 60% of the meat on our table was wild game. My mom would go to the store to buy hot dogs because those kids liked them. Turkey on Thanksgiving. Usually there was a wild one and usually it was a normal one. You know, bought from the store, you know. That's what we did. But she didn't think that she was a prepper. I said, Mom, you're already prepping. No, I'm not. I don't believe it. Yeah, you are, Mom. You put up vegetables and you put up this meat in jars and canning stuff because if the electricity goes out, it still stays good. You're putting it up so if Dad doesn't have work this winter, you can eat. That's preparing 101. That's why I call my business Prepping 101 at hotmail.com. If anybody needs that. I'll say this now so everybody can write it down and then I'll do it again. Prepping101 at hotmail.com. That's my email address. It's prepping101 at hotmail.com. Getting ready to get 1.5 million hits on this. My phone number is 423-218-6594. And the reason I don't mind giving that out is because I'm not going to answer it unless I want to. I hate my cell phone. Leave a message, honestly. I help do a lot of things. I'm out speaking a lot. So if I don't answer the phone, please leave a message. I will get back to you. It may take me a day, but I'll get back with you. Dan called me like 12 times. We hit back and forth trying to chase each other before we ever caught each other. But that's where we're at. I'll do it again at the end for everybody that needs to write it. Firearms. That's one everybody always wants to ask, but nobody ever wants to come up and ask. These are all personal opinions. On your firearms, I think there's 5 of them that you should have. Number 1, no question, without a doubt, the most important, in my opinion, firearm that you should own. And I'm going to put a couple of variables in there. 12-gauge shotgun and a pump. Mossberg 500 or better, or 870, both phenomenal firearms. You got other guns that are nice and things of that nature. You got your Berettas, Benellis, all that good stuff. You have some more expensive ones. But those 2 guns have been tested and proven through the military. The Marine Corps runs a Mossberg 590, phenomenal gun. I've shot them without front sights and everything else, and they still run true every time. If you have a lady in the group that isn't of stature to shoot a 12 gauge, if she doesn't have the want and desire to shoot a 12 gauge, go with the 20 in the same gun. They still get the job done. If you have young kids, 410 gets them started and then work them into something bigger later. They can still hunt and fish. Second gun that I think is the most important that you need to have, and I have no variance on this one. This is my baby and the best weapon I think ever designed, and yes, I'll take a free one if you hear this. Ruger 1022. Best .22 rifle ever made. People will argue with me on that all the time. Reliable. Ruger 1022. I just bought Ruger Days was last weekend. I went and bought one of the new breakdowns. Comes apart, will fit actually. It might not fit in that bag, but it fit in my other bag. They're about this long. They come with their own backpack. Great guns, out of the box, pulled it, walked down. My 7-year-old nephew was holding a baseball sergeant's target at 25 yards with it. No adjustments, no anything. Awesome gun. You can practice with it. You can defend yourself with it. You can hunt with it up to big game. I mean, is it legal right now to go hunt a deer with a 22 long rifle? No. Can you kill a deer with a 22 long rifle? Yes, I've done many a wounded animal with a 22 rifle. We kill hogs, we kill hogs, we kill beef, we kill anything else of larger size, 22. It's placement, okay? Third, I think you need a sight-on. Now, there's variations where you want to go. One of the good ones is a sight-on pistol. 92 FS. Great one. Military uses it. If something happened and we were it got worst case scenario, we're fighting on the streets. Woo! Okay. If it gets to that point, I might not find a firearm, but I might find a magazine. I might find some ammo. Somebody's had a failure and they've racked a round out. I might find a round or two laying on the ground. It's a 9mm. I do suggest that you stay with a 9mm. Or a 45, and I'll go into what I like on those two. 9mm, easy control. Before you're going to put 3 rounds on me with a 45, I'm going to put 5 or 6 on you with a 9mm just because of control and recoil. Glock 19, Glock 17 Gen 1, Jerry Muchalek, Smith & Wesson shooter said that if he could only own one firearm that it would be, and I might get Jerry in trouble, but this was on national TV, so I don't think so. I think he said he would only own a Gen 1 Glock 17 because you can repair it with an ink pen. Jerry Muchalek, he's a world championship shooter on revolvers, and I don't want to quote you, Jerry, if you watch this. I know you're a fan. But what was that? Gen 1 is made out of, from what I understand, is made out of a different composite, and the spring system in it is a little bit different. You can reuse small wire and stuff to make most of the springs in it. The composite that the gun's made out of, or I can melt and go back, and it actually molds back into a nicer thing. I'm personally not a Glock fan, but I do own a 17 Gen 1. H&K, great gun, great firearm. I like cars and I like SIGs. Those are my firearms of choice on the sidearm. And on revolvers, you know, you can't go wrong with a Colt or a Smith & Wesson Taurus. I like them for the price and stuff. I actually carry my everyday carry is a Taurus M605 in 357, and I run for practice 38s. I love wheel guns. You don't have problems with them. Yes, ma'am.
For the ladies, it's 6 Sauer 380, the slide.
6 Sauer 380. What I do have a problem with some of these new 380s and smaller frame firearms is if you are a new shooter, they sting. They will eat your hand up a little bit if you're not used to shooting a lot of times. The SIG has more weight, so if you're going to go with that, it does handle a lot better. In my opinion, go with just a little bit larger frame. The Car E9, CW9, slim frame. It only slightly bigger. It's in a 9mm. Not much more of a difference in knockdown, but it's there, and it feels a lot better in your hand as far as when you're shooting.
Is that a car?
Car, C-A-R-H. It's an E9. It's E9, CW9. They have an EC9. Just Car 9mm, and you'll see like 12 different versions of it come up. Great gun, quality firearm. They bought out Thompson for like the Thompson machine gun and stuff like that. They bought that pattern a while back. Not a really big company. 6 Sauer. You can't go wrong with any one of them you buy, except for the Mosquito. Don't like it. Didn't get good performance out of that. I'm a 22 fan, guys. I'll let you guys have your big bore guns all the time until I want to reach out to a mile, and then I want the 338 Lapua and Savage 110 BA. Too much. You don't need all that. It's a big gun. It shoots a really big bullet.
Why is the government stockpiling these billions of rounds of ammunition?
I'm glad they are, because what did I say at the beginning? Don't piss off the guys with the guns. Guys, the people in the military are us. Stockpile all you want, please. I mean, being honest, I think that our government is one thing and our military is another. Yes, we answer them, but I'm telling you, out of the Marines and the soldiers and the Navy men and the things that I see, and these people are good people that love this country. They're not going to take that order to go house to house in America. Now, I mean, they may go in to clean up a civil disturbance in a town when we got rioting going on and things like that. We may see some of that. But I honestly, truly, hopefully, God, please let me be right, don't think your military is gonna come in there. You're going to have some. But here's the other kicker, guys. You have the largest standing force of non-American citizens in the United States of America right now. They're non-American citizens in a military or a contracting role. Why? Why do I need tens of thousands of non-U.S. citizens carrying guns in the United States? If I pull out enough money, I can get most people to do anything I want. Yeah. That's why I've went and done stuff overseas and things of that nature, is because the money was good. As a moral problem, yes. But I did it because it made stuff better for me and my family. And those are the skills that I have and that are valuable.
What's a good amount of money to carry you go back?
No cash, gold and silver. And I don't like gold. It's a false market, but at least I know it's got trade value. I say in your bag, $10 worth of silver and pre-64, dimes and quarters. If you got half dollars and dollars, good to go. It's just harder to break up. Dimes and quarters are good to go. You can go out and pay and do your things on that nature. As a family, minimum $1,000 face value. That's a lot of money, guys. But it's an investment in what you're going to do. If it goes bad tomorrow, at least it'll still have some value. It's better than your stock market. And that's for everyday go bag, guys. If I'm riding down the road and it's been a short month and I haven't made that good of money and I've got $10 worth of silver in my pocket and I blow out the tire on my old Dodge truck outside, I can stop on any corner at a gold and silver store and sell enough silver to go buy me a tire. Prepping's not about 20 years down the road. Prepping's about what the heck happens to you tomorrow. It doesn't have to be the government doing something bad. It doesn't have to be an economic collapse. It doesn't have to be a tornado or a hurricane or whatever. It has to be that tomorrow my day got really bad. I had something that happened and I needed this, that, or the other to get through that day. And I have that stock and that silver or that ammo or that whatever it is. That's carrying your firearm on your side. If you have a concealed weapons license and your car is not, or your gun is not on you, which I'm naked right now because I'm in a library in the U.S. and I'm not allowed to carry my gun. But, you know, if I don't have that on me, what good is it? You're requiring me to have a license, but now I can't carry my firearm. That guy comes in here, he's got a gun, he doesn't have to obey that. He's going to do what he wants to do. So train, have it. If you're going to have it, train with it. Shoot it. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars a year training. Go buy you 100 rounds of, if you're carrying a 357, carry it by you 100 rounds of 38 and shoot 3 rounds every week. Go home, clean your gun. Now you know how it functions, this, that, and other. I got a good shot placement. I'm there. It might take you 10 or 15 the first time you shoot it. Good shot placement. I've got my shot. I know I'm there. It's consistent. Every morning I wake up, I'm a bow hunter. Every morning I wake up, bad shoulder or not, my bow sits beside the front door. I take the bow off the wall, 30 yards, 40 yards. Bow's back on the wall. I walk out, I pull my 2 arrows, put them back in the quiver, and I go do what I need to do for the day. But I'll promise you at 30 or 40 yards, I'm hitting center mass every time. Unless the dog runs up and hits my leg or something like that. I know at those distances, my odds have increased by 100% at least on what I'm doing. I can't control what else happens around me. Dog jumps out, a squirrel scares me, you know, whatever. But I know that I have that consistency to do what we need to do and make it through that. Yes? Last 2 weapons. We got kind of offside on that. Okay, so you got your 1022, you've got your sidearm. 45, great caliber, love that caliber. The SIG, I just bought the new SIG Scorpion 1911, great weapon. Kimbers, if you want to go on the cheaper side of 45s for a sidearm, you have your Rock Islands and stuff, less than $500. You can do anything you can do to one of the expensive guns to it. I do warn you, They are great guns, but when you get into like your Remington 1911s and some of your, like Taurus, which I like Taurus, the new company, the old company had some issues, but, or the older weapons had some issues. Very good quality guns, but they're metric. So when you go to working on them, it's a totally different system to have to work on. When you get to there, and that's a different story, and that goes into a different skill set. But I like the 1911, and then the other sidearm is going back to, I like a 357 revolver that I can run 38s in for practice as well as carry, and a wheel gun. A revolver is reliable. Your chances of that gun going down on you are versus, so you have a lot less. You pull the trigger, it doesn't go off, pull it again. Okay. Other two long guns that I suggest that everybody has is I think that everybody should own a bolt gun and a high power hunting rifle, 308, 270. And you can go with lever action too. A lot of people around this area like the 30-30, 35. 30-30 I think is a more feasible weapon to have. 308, 270, 243, any of those common calibers for this area. And the reason that I say those calibers is if I have to go around and play a video game in real life, when I'm rummaging through a house that's been abandoned, I'm probably going to find 22, 12 gauge, 30-30, 308, 270, 243, 9mm, and 45. Sounds like a lot of numbers. Sorry, it's math. No, it's not. But you'll find that type of ammunition more readily.
What do you think of the Colt 45 911?
The 1911s?
Yeah.
Great guns. Standard of building this country was on that gun on a lot of men's hips. Great weapons. Now they have that's where we were going. They have so many different people putting out 1911s that are quality firearms. There's very few of them that I don't like in the 1911. Little things that I may not agree with, or ergonomics for my smaller hand and things of this nature. But when you get into some of them, some of the metric guns, some of the new guns have metric parts in them, and it's harder to work on them. If you get into gunsmithing or just shoebox gunsmithing like I do, you get $2,000 invested in the tools just to work on 1911s. And then when you go to a metric, now you got to buy $2,000 worth of more tools. So it's kind of hard. They don't transfer over.
What's a good crossbow?
A good crossbow? Ooh, Excaliburs are good. Your Matthews are good. There's a ton of them. There's one called a switchback that's really nice, shooting fast. Good. You want to go with something with cams on it. Don't go with a straight limb. The problem, and all this is personal. Straight limb crossbows, a lot of times will get off cannon and you'll get arrows that fly different ways. Go with something 315 feet per second or more. Quick, quiet. Make sure you buy lots of bolts. Because if you hit bolts, lots of arrows. If you start shooting the crossbow a lot, when you do hit something that's harder, because it is moving so fast, you end up messing up crossbow bolts a lot. Harder than you.
What are the best items for bartering?
Bartering? Ammo. The basis of this country, tobacco. I hate it. I don't smoke. I don't dip. I'm sorry if you do. It's a nasty habit in my opinion. But guess what? I got plenty of it put back for y'all that do. So tobacco is a good one. Coffee is another good one that bases this country. Alcohol. Was that? Pints. Yes, sir. Pint. Trade for anything. 22 is my currency of choice. I buy 22 ammo in bulk and bulk and bulk and bulk because the thing is, most everybody has a 22. Even people that don't like guns have a 22 in their house because they think, oh my God, it's a 22. It's not that big of a caliber, but I want something in the house for whatever reason. Guess what? 22's killed more people than any other gun in the world. It's one of the most effective rounds you'll ever buy. So you can buy 525 rounds for about $20. If I take 5 of those rounds in a worst case scenario, boom, I'm trading better than I am gold. Toilet paper is a good one, but you know what? I can use a leaf. I can use my hand and wash it, guys. Hey, it's the way it works. That's what they used to do. You know, if you squat the right way, you don't even need to wipe. Go ahead.
My question was, what's the difference, like, reload time between a crossbow and, like, 22, say? What would you prefer to have? Like,
22. 22, in my opinion, would be it. And the simple fact is the only reason that I would choose that over a bow of a crossbow is because my bolts are going to go away at some time. I can buy a lot more 22 ammo than I can bolts. So that would be why I would choose that. Having the skills to make your own bow, making self bows, those primitive skills, those Native American skills, and traditional European skills, great skills to have. Those are my favorite classes to teach: is flint knapping, bow making, arrow making, traditional fire from bow drill fires, hand drill fires, flint and steel. Guys, that's when you're learning skills. When I have no problem right now, as cold as it is. If y'all want to strip me down, please don't. I go out and I'll survive. I'll find a way to start a fire and warm up, and then I'll find something to give me clothing, and I'll find something to make shelter. I can do that. I have people call me all the time, lots of men's groups from churches. We want to go on a survival retreat. I don't teach survival classes. Well, we want to go out and test what we can do as men. You're an idiot. No. You know, and they're like, I'll say, I'll go out and teach you skills. I'll teach you how to do this stuff. And then if you want to test your skills out, we can go do that, but I'm going to do it in a controlled environment. I'm bringing food because I know I can do it already. I don't need to be hungry for 3 or 4 days. I'm a fat kid that's losing weight, you know. So learning those skills and getting those skills out of the way, training before anything else. If you buy it, learn to use it. Okay, if you think that, have a secondary job. How many lawyers do we have in here? Any? Oh, you have to leave. No, it's a joke. You know, you have to have a skill that's going to back you up on that stuff. If you're a lawyer, learn how to make candles. If you're a doctor, you're good to go anyway. Don't worry about it. You got a skill that's going to work. If you know how to shoot real well, that's fine. What if you break both your arms? You better know how to do something else. You see what I'm saying? Have another skill. Candle making, knitting, sewing, building, fighting. Learn all these other skills that you have that are basic skills to survive on. That's where you want to be. That's how you want to get there. Yes, ma'am. Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's what I had to do to survive. But I filled my washing machine with water.
Yep.
Wash our hands with it.
Yep.
Get bathed in the water out in the rain.
Yep.
South Carolina, of course, has snow.
Mm-hmm.
Dealt with that.
Yep. Guys, you'll be
Skills I wish I had known.
the primitive skills will come to you even if you don't think you have them. If you get cold enough, you're going to figure out some way to keep you warm. If you get hungry enough, you're going to find a way to catch something or you're going to die. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. You either learn to stay warm, you learn to hydrate, and you learn how to eat. I don't care who it is. You don't have any skills. There's a book called The Hatchet. It's about a young boy from the Bronx, never been in the woods. Group decides to take him to Alaska. He's going on a trip. He gets a new hatchet. There's a couple of other things they give him. Plane crashes. True story. Plane crashes. Kid, the only thing he can find is a jacket and a hatchet. Never been in the woods before. He survived because he went back to primitive skills. He went back to a primitive mindset. I have to eat. How do I get this food? What can I use this hatchet to do? Where do I need to go about doing this? That blade is important. If it's a knife, it's a hatchet, it's a pocket knife, whatever it is. Okay? That's here. Yes, sir?
I'm understanding that ammunition has been changed.
False. It has not been pushed out there to where you have an expiration date on ammo. They have done some stuff with fragmentation rounds and things of that nature that they do have serial numbers on them. I've seen those microscopically put into those. But that was used more in the government for law enforcement so that if you did get into a shooting and things of that nature, they could identify rounds, which science is so good now, that stuff it's not needed. It really isn't. I can do ballistics. I mean, it takes a lot to destroy a round where I'm not going to figure out what gun it came from. That's one. Guys, here's the things that should scare you. I'm going to get back on my soapbox again. I know I've been popping back and forth. These are the things, in my opinion, that should scare you. Don't worry about them taking away your guns. They got to come to your house and get those. Okay? You have the right then to do what you need to do as an individual. I'm not telling you what to do, but you have the right to do it. Okay? What you need to worry about is that the Department of Agriculture just got signed over to the Office of the Presidency. Office of the President. It's no longer in the House or Senate. It's no longer in Congress. Guys, if I want your guns, I'll just wait until you're hungry. You'll give them to me. I promise you. There ain't a person in this room, I don't care how tough you are, if you get hungry enough and I got a big old juicy steak and some baked potatoes and some bread, and your family's hungry enough, I'll get you to trade if I got guns too. Okay? If I control the food, Russia, loaves of bread, $20 and $30 of equivalency to a loaf, I'm going to get whatever I want from you. So food is important. Water is important. Agenda 21, and all these agendas, buying up water frontage, buying up this, that, and other, all these other agendas and this agenda. Guys, look at the stuff that you aren't looking at. I can sit here and jump in front of you all day and go, I'm going to take your guns, I'm going to take your guns, I'm going to take your guns. And guess what? You're going to focus on me taking your guns. And the whole time in the back I'm going, I'll take the corn, I'll take the water frontage, I'll take the rights for you to hunt and fish, and I'll close down the parks and the hunting areas. I'll limit this, I'll take funds away from this, I'll do this. That's the reason I don't understand people that are truly, guys, I'm a hunter and a fisherman, but I'm a big conservative. I love conservation. I think that our environment is our key to our life, and I hunt for sustainability, not for trophy. Okay? That's what I hunt for, and I love that part of it. And I take care of the environment as much as any of these people out here that are, you know, putting their dishwater out into the back into their pond. I think it's a great idea. It's good to go. But guess what? When you're doing stuff that hurts the environment more because you think that killing an animal is wrong, you're destroying what you're defending. So it's another soapbox issue. Other things that you should make sure that you put up. Some type of fuel source, I think, is needed for the immediate. So having that, keeping your tank, especially over the next couple of weeks, guys, keep your tanks topped off. Even if you're short on cash, fill your tanks up in your car. Even if you don't drive a vehicle a whole lot, take it to the gas station, fill it up. I can siphon that tank out if I need to. Okay? Keeping that fuel source there. Having an alternative power source. If you have somebody in your house that is a diabetic, I have a diabetic in my family. Now you don't have to keep it refrigerated with a lot of the new stuff, but if you got somebody that's still on that the older stuff that has to be refrigerated, different story. Make sure you make friends with a doctor, a nurse, a PA, an MA. Make friends with somebody that can help you out and take care of you. I'm broken up. I got bad knee, bad shoulder, bad hips. I don't take medication. I take Ultram or Tramadol, and I take it as I need it. These people that come in and I see taking 10 or 15 Loratab a day, I'm sorry. I hurt every day. And I still go do what I need to do. And I make it through life, and guess what? Maybe I'm off of a different cloth or something. Yes, sir?
How important do you think, like quality footwear?
Clothing is huge, huge. Danner boots, Lacrosse, Red Wing, all quality gear. There's some others out there that are just as good, not to leave those out. Some of this, what we call yuppie gear, is great gear, North Face, things like that. You're going to pay heavy dime for them, but they're going to last you a long, long time. I'm a big hunter. You guys have heard me talk about that. But a lot of the gear that we hunters buy, they don't make as quality as what they need to because they want you to buy it every year. Okay? But when you go into like ski wear, some of the hiking gear, they know you're going to be tough on it. They make this stuff for guys hiking the Appalachian Trail that they know they're going to have these two pair of pants on them, and they're going to be wearing them for the next 365 days. Consistently. So you're 150 days worth of wear in a year, and those pants are still rolling 4 and 5 years later. Okay? So having that military clothing, great option. They last, they do good if you buy good military clothing, surplus, it really works out well. Footwear, when I have a pair of shoes that I'm ready to turn in, they still go in the closet. Because I might only get a month out of them, but I still get a month out of my feet not walking on the ground barefoot. Worst thing that ever happened to humanity was when we put shoes on our feet. Dave Canterbury is a friend of mine. Cody Lundane, who is the barefoot hippie guy off Dual Survival. That's why he's went back to wearing bare feet and going off, is because his feet are actually healthier than most everybody else's. Crazy. I don't want to walk around in the snow and on the hot sand and stuff. South Carolina, I've got a place down there. That's where I'm going after I leave here. And I don't want to walk around in the summer barefooted. It's not smart, or Florida or wherever, but those people are there. Yes, sir? Yeah, I can go through some of this. Guys, this is my everyday carry bag, so there's stuff in here. I don't even know what's in here. We'll go first off. This is an E&O's water bottle. E&O's is a company out of North Carolina that does hammocks. They're a little more expensive. Great company, do a great time. It does have a plastic lid. It's sealed. It's just full of water, so I won't go any further. And no, it's not vodka, so I'm not sharing. It's just a plastic lid, but it's a single wall metal container. You can see I burned it several times, actually probably over 100, and it's still just as good as it was the day I bought it. If you buy a thin one from Walmart or something, they're good. They'll last you 10 or 15 burns, and then you'll get a hole through them. Buy a quality one, Garrett, E&O's, something like that. These are Cleans, Canteens, K-L-E-A-N is the company. Single wall. That's what you want to remember. Cost $12 to $35, depending on what you buy. They have them, the Garrett's have big wide mouths on them. They're really nice because I can fit more stuff into them. I've cooked crawdads in these, everything else. I like these little D-rings and stuff. I can work it out. You can take a piece of coat hanger and make a bell to go around the top where you can pick it up and stuff. And you hook this right over, take the lid off and hit it right over the fire, in the fire, around the fire, whatever it is to boil your water, whatever you need to do. Side here, this is a Molly system from Tactical Tailor. The bladder in it is made by the Israelis. If you ever have a chance to meet somebody from Israel, take the time, make them a friend. They'll be a friend for life. Some of the best people I've ever met in my life. Got to do a lot of training with the Air Marshal Service with those people. Quality individuals. But they fought their whole life, and they've got knowledge in their head even at 10 and 15 years old that none of us have a clue about. Okay, when you fight for your life every day, you learn a lot of stuff really quick. In the front pouch here, if you go online and you go to Dave's site, Dave Canterbury's site, he has what he calls the 10 C's. And there are 10 pieces of items that you need to have in every bag. I always miss 2 or 3 of them. This is the carrying device is 1, a quality backpack. The metal canteen is 2. 2 cotton bandanas, 100% cotton bandana. Why? Bandages, slings, wiping, hygiene. I can take pieces of this off, put it in my canteen, put it in a fire with a rock over top of it, make char cloth. Now I can transport fire. Okay, lots of skills that you have to learn how to do it with it. But I carry I actually try to carry more than 1 or more than 2 usually. I usually carry a large shamag, which is the Middle Eastern head wrap that they wear. They're great, guys. It looks awful funny, but you can wear them as clothing, you can wear them as a blanket, you can use them as a cover, you can wear them as a sling, water filtration. There's a site online, it's 1,000,001 uses for a shamag. They also have the silk ones are called keefs. They're really nice as well. So I keep those up front. This is a small signal mirror. This is not one of the 10 C's. The signal mirror is just nice. I can use it to look at myself because I'm handsome. But I can use this for directional purposes, signaling people, things of that nature. I leave it right in here. This is a $8 item. They're not super expensive. They are glass, but they're pretty durable. This is a small habless bush tool. I mentioned them earlier. This is one they don't make anymore, but they have a different version. This is called the Shard. It's a small, usable, pill-in, skinning, fashions into a nice spear point for fishing or game up to hog. Actually, I've used this on 2 hog hunts and been successful with both of them. Great penetration, razor sharp. Stephen Staten does an excellent job on his knives. The blade is another one of the 10 C's. I'm getting ready to pull stuff out of here. I don't know quite what it is. Oh, power bars. I love these in my backpack. 350 calories. Boom, bam. I got caloric intake. Oh, cordage. That's another one that's on there. That's going to be, food is not one of his 10 C's, by the way. It's not needed. You'll get it yourself. Plants, animals, things of that nature. Cordage, 550 cord, hemp rope, whatever you choose you want to do. Make sure it's got multiple strands. 550 cord has 5 strands to 7 strands to 10 strands, depending on what weight you buy. True 550 cord has 7 strands of string inside of it. You want to carry 3 hinks of 25 feet, at least. And the reason you want to carry 3 of them is because you truly don't want to cut this. If I need to wrap it on a spear, I want to use all 25 feet on there. Because the longer your rope is, once you start cutting it, the less use you have for it. Okay, if I want to build shelter, this is the easy way to get a string up. Set traps, fish, the whole 9 yards. 25 feet of this cord actually gives you 350 feet because of all the strands inside of it. Fire is another one. Usually carry flint and steel. learn how to do it with the bow drill fire, hand drill fire, whatever it is. This is a neat little thing one of my sisters got me. It's got a little LED light, not a little bright one, but it's a little bit of light. It's got a butane lighter on it. And it's a little keychain. Pretty cool. Threw it in my bag. I carry a lot of these little packages. Sugar is a good one when you're out hiking and stuff. It gives you a little morale booster, things of that nature. And it takes away the flavor of bad water when you traditionally purify it. Even if you're doing it over a fire, you get soot, you get stuff in there. If I pour a half a pack in there of the strawberry or lemonade or pink lemonade, I can drink it a lot longer. Okay, so that's the front little pouch. On the outside of this bag, one of the things that I try to do is put small little D-ring fasteners, things of that nature that I can use in my clothing to hook stuff to. Just personal little stuff on that. I have a seatbelt cutter. This one's by Benchmade. It's you might not your survival situation might not be your survival. You might be out in the country, roll up on a car wreck, and need to cut a seatbelt to get somebody out of a car. It's just a little little blade. You reach in, you just cut the seatbelt. If you can't get in, get the seatbelt released. Cuts them out. It's used for flight crews. Really nice, 25 to 50 bucks, depending on which one you got. They got some you can buy for $10. Secondary pouch. Another little flashlight, little light, don't want to blind you. I like lights. Like I said, I carry more stuff in here than I need. This, to me, is one of the greatest things ever put out there. You can spend $200 and $300 on a water filtration system. These are called Frontier Pros. They're by Aquamarine. This is a full system that will do up to 50 gallons of water of the nastiest water out there. It purifies it to 99.9% of any of your giardia or bacteria or any of the bad stuff that makes you sick. It'll screw right on top of a water bottle, a 2-liter bottle. It's got an adapter that will allow it to screw to your hot water heater. It's just a little bite valve like you have on a Camelback. It'll actually fit into the line of your Camelback like this. This will come off, screw right into here. Now I have it here. I can fill this full of dirty water and drink. I can take it with the straw. This is the Frontier Pro by Aquamarine. I can take the straw, put it right on it, and go drink straight out of a mud puddle. Frontier Pro. Okay. Inside of it, you just unscrew it. It's got this little micro filter. Okay. You get 3 to 4 of them, depending on what day you get and who put yours together. You get 3 to 4 of these little micro filters in there. Inside is a small, I guess it's a carbon and ceramic filter system in there. 24 bucks, guys. Buy 7 or 8 of them. Throw them in every backpack you got. That's 50 gallons worth of the worst water you can do. I'm not telling you this. This is just my personal opinion and conversation with the guy that made this. It'll do about 200 gallons of water if it's moving water. If it's clear moving water, stream around here and stuff, you just want to be safe. It'll do a lot more than 50 gallons. 50 gallons is of nasty stuff. If I'm in the city and it's moving water and it's by a road, you fuel things of that nature from the roadway. Really nice little device that's worth its weight in gold. Whistles. Guys, I may want to be quiet in the woods, but then I want to maybe be heard. If you try to get up and speak like I do, or you try to holler a lot or anything of that nature, if you don't know how to do it from your diaphragm, your voice will go quickly. Whistle will save your life more times than anything else. All right, in here. This is a small pack of cheese spread out of an MRE, Meals Ready to Eat, that the military uses. I carry this for multiple purposes. If I had to eat it, I would, but that's not what it's in here for. Well, use it on wounds. The oil off of it can start fire. Use it on my traps to catch small game. Then I can eat. Okay? There's a lot of stuff that this cheese is good for. If you go online and go for alternate uses on MREs, there's creamer starts fires. The heaters can make flashbangs. I mean, there's a million things in there. This is a little extra I carry. These are Camelback elixirs. They actually have caffeine in them. They give you some slight caloric intake off of it. Just gives you a boost. It goes into your water to make it taste better. This is one of the things that I suggest everybody buy. Keep them in your car, keep them in your bag. They're $12 a piece. This is the Pocket Reference Book by Maxpedition. It's a Thomas G. Glover is the author on this. I can tell you the gestation period of an elephant to how to purify water, to how to make a figure 4 trap, to how to dress wounds, to the square root of 9,564. This book has all the answers to everything in the world. Literally. I'll pass this around because it's actually pretty fun to look at. Just kind of flip through it. Don't try to read it all because we'll never make it through. Yep. Write in the rain, some type of writing utensil and piece of paper. The write in the rains are nice because it doesn't matter if it's raining or whatever it is. You can write on them at any place, anytime. $5 to $10, depending on what size you buy. Shelter. Everybody thought I didn't have shelter in here. This is just a high-end adventure medical kits, be safe emergency blanket. This isn't the little crumply up piece of aluminum foil. This is actually a high-end one. They're about $12 to $28, depending on which one you buy. I think this one's $19. I can make shelter out this. I can signal with this. I can wear it for warmth wrapped around me like it's meant to be. The little pouch, I can carry food in it. You know, it doesn't seem like a lot, but I could carry some small wild edibles.
Plastic?
It is a plastic. It is, it's a small mill plastic, but it's just a tarp. That's all it is. But it gets me out of the rain. If I can get out of the rain and start a fire, I can stay warm. Okay. This is a little called an Artifact by Gerber. It's got a can opener. It's got 2 different sizes of screwdrivers, a little pry bar, a Phillips screwdriver, and an X-Acto blade that locks. Great little tools, hard to find. Smoky Mountain Knife Works in Gatlinburg carries them. They're $6. Great little tool. Back side of this, I'm not going to pull all of this piece out, but I have a MRE broke down for all the meal there, so that's a full day's supply of food right there. And then the other little stuff that I have scattered through the bag is there. So there that is. In my top of my bag, that's a box of 357 Magnum, extra rounds for my carry weapon. I carry 5 extra batteries up here, another little spare whistle. I carry a handcuff key everywhere I go. It's where I'm at. And actually today there is a 308 round in there. I guess it's there because it got put in there at some point in time. This is a basic 2 or 3 days worth of tramadol, which is the medication I do. My medications that I take are in there. And I actually have some phentermine in there. Energy, get you boosted up. It's a diet medication. I've actually, then this is kind of funny, and Dan can probably attest to some of this. I was 315 pounds about 184 days ago. I'm 207 right now. Yep, that's part of preparing. Getting yourself into shape where you can do it. I'm out in the woods all the time, but getting out there and being physically fit to do it at whatever age you're at. Walk, do what you can do, be productive. More power bars. 2 or 3 in there. They get pretty bad when you carry them in your pack so long, but once again, 300, 400, 500 calories, you know, that's a meal. It's ready to roll. Eating utensil, wow. I think there's part of a power bar on there. Eating utensil makes life a little easier when you do that. So you got that. Now on to the bit, well, we'll go to the back first. I have to step back for 1 second. 1 second. Off the bag. What is this? It's the Constitution of the United States of America. You know what else this is? Dan knows this one. What is this, Dan? What did I say in the thing that caught everybody off guard? What list is this on?
Oh, yeah, the
This is a terroristic document underneath the American government's guidelines. The Constitution of the United States is listed as a terroristic document. Don't ask me. Don't ask me. Our Constitution was put on that list a long time ago. I don't know if it's been pulled off or what, but it was put on a terroristic, as a terroristic document. Well, it'll all fit in something, but I say it's my key to survival. All right, in the big portion of this bag, we get a lot of stuff. All right, this I found at a gas station. And I used to tell people to get a piece of antenna off of cars, but now they've done away with antennas and put them in the windshield. It's just a little metal tube. If you're blowing traditional fire, the key to it is keeping oxygen to it. I can take this piece of cloth around it and I can get fuel in there without putting my face right up to that flame, and it helps out a lot. Just cool. I can still drink water. If I'm digging a coyote hole out, I can get down deeper. I don't have to stick my head all the way in the mud. It's a nice little piece to have in there. I'm glad I found them. I have a little secondary bag inside of here. Inside of it, carry antibiotics. I carry actual liquid Rocephin. Good broad-span antibiotic. Take it, you get hurt, injury, open wounds, things of that nature. Taking this, one dose can help save your life. It's like a super dose of antibiotic. Once again, you got to have advanced training to do this stuff. You need to have a prescription to carry this stuff. I carry a script that's wrote out for all the stuff that I have in here. It's a powder, and then you add stuff in here. They hurt. If anybody's ever had a Rocephin shot, they're painful. It's like putting a golf ball into your butt. You want to be clean when you're doing stuff like that, especially if it's an injectable. So have alcohol swabs with every piece that you have. So that's that. Chopsticks. That's for all my friends to be able to eat with, and also set up small traps, figure fours, things of that nature with those. Love chopsticks. This is a advanced bottle of pills called my Tramadol. I mean, that's the key to me getting up in the morning when I'm in the woods and walking around. This is Quick Clot. This stuff's a little bit expensive, but it's great. Doctors will hate you for using it because it's very hard to get out of wounds, but use it on me. If I'm hurt and you find my bag, use it, please, because I want to go home. And I'd rather go home and have the doctor have to work on me a little harder than not. This stuff you can buy and carry and use. It's a coagulant, so when you're cut, you put it on, it stops the bleeding real quick. The old stuff was made out of shellfish and burnt really bad. What I will tell you, a lot of stuff that has expiration dates, you can go out further than the expiration dates. Quick Clot, Salox, things of that nature. When it's done, it's done. And it's usually done a month earlier than what it should be. So pay attention to the dates. No, the new stuff is not. Yeah, the new stuff is, from what I understand, is not made to that. That is not medical advice. That is a friend telling you that I don't think it's shellfish. Syringes to use with antibiotics and things of that nature. I do carry one single vial of Toradol, which is an anti-inflammatory and pain reliever, but it's like Motrin is what it is. I do carry a vial of Epi. This I have a prescription for. It's for allergies. If you're closing off a restriction of your blood, of your airway and stuff of this nature, allergic to bees, shellfish, things of that nature, you can get a prescription for these. If you can't and you want to carry something like this in your bag, once again, this is not medical advice. This is friends talking to friends, right? Everybody's my friend? Shake your heads. It's on camera. Okay. Triple dose of Benadryl will pretty much do the same thing as what the Epi will. If you give it to a big guy like me or Dan, have us at a flat space that you don't want to try to carry us out of, because we're going to go to sleep. And we're going to sleep for a long time, and if I'm laying on the side of a hill and I roll into a creek, I'm going to be mad at you. I carry a combat bandage in here. I carry a small thing, more Benadryl, a small thing of iodine in there that can be mixed out to clean wounds. And like I said, there's several other just bandages, hand sanitizer, things of that nature. Inside the bag, Mountain House freeze-dried food. This I like in my go bags, but I don't like this as much. I do like it in my long-term food storage, but Mountain House has got a lot of sodium in it. Works great for when you're in the woods and you're hiking and things like that, but in long-term situation, Thrive Foods, some of the other companies have a lot less sodium in them, and they're a little better for you. You need salt in a self-reliance situation, because not everything's going to have salt in it that's wild. So you got that. These small packs of tuna fish, I love them. They're great. They got, 4-year shelf life on them, good protein, quick to go. You can get them flavored now, so it's not just eating fish. More Mountain House. I found these a while back. I carry meat in my bag. They're salamis. They're hard salamis, Gino salami, pepperoni. All of it is stuff that doesn't have to be refrigerated. You find them hanging out on the rack at the store. They don't have a real long shelf life on them, but I carry them in here because if I'm hiking or I'm doing something in a class, I can roll them off and eat a piece or two of them. It's got a lot of fats in it, brings up a lot of my energy. But in my bag too, if I'm going, I'm good to go. These are awesome. This is a new acquisition of mine. These are by Randall, EAS, or ESEE, and they're little spear points that you can put onto arrowheads or you can do into a spear, and they are razor sharp. Once again, I'm into the traditional stuff and archery and stuff. These are $21. They're well worth it. Huh? Yeah, the SE Spear Point, yep. And you can get, they come in a little pouch and all this, because I just left them in the box. Really good, ESEE. Folks, have a great night, thank you. A good one to have in there. A little bit of trail mix. This is my kind of goodie extras thing. And this, I have a little bit of extra water purification tablets. I have an IR flasher. We have some night vision in our group, so I can tell where people are at if we all have one of those, which we might not all have one. I carry $3 worth of silver in that, in this container. I have another whistle, a knife sharpener, a small blade, just little basics. It's a waterproof container. I got some scrap gold in there. It's what it is. I carry an extra magazine pouch, just because if I have to transition to carrying an auto pistol, one of my cars or my 45 in the Scorpion or something, I throw it on my side and I have an extra magazine on my side at that point in time. A lot of times during the day I don't carry an extra magazine. If I can't take care of business on the street with what I've got, then I'm probably in trouble anyway. These come from Randall Ventures as well with the knife tips. It's just a little survival card. Tells you directional arrows and stuff if you're drawing stuff around. Neat little thing they just give you. Little spatula. Makes my life easier when I'm out there. My buddy gave me this because he thinks I'm weird. But this is 10 gauge shell. I don't have a 10 gauge. He said it's the only gun I don't have, so he's going to give me some rounds if I ever found one. So I carry it in my bag. Yeah, this is just another hink of 25-foot worth of paracord that's been braided. So I throw it on my arm, throw it around my neck, whatever it is, and wear it and be good to go. I carry it assortedly through my bag. Another little pouch, and I use that a lot of times if I'm carrying ID or something on the field. I want to have it on me where I don't have to pull out my wallet necessarily. I can have my ID or whatever in here and be able to have that out. This is what we refer to in bushcraft world as like a long-range trapper kit. This is a piece of aircraft runway tape that goes down the runways on the airplanes. It glows in the dark. If I'm at night, I know this is my box. And it will hold 6 ounces of water, and I can get about 3 boils out of one of these before it burns through. It's just a little tin. Inside the tin, I carry flint and steel. So, I mean, it's just, you know, basic. You can go through. I carry 16 trap sets. When I teach my trapping classes, I really enjoy those. I have a lot of forest officers come in and rangers and stuff like that come in and go through those classes. And I start teaching stuff from a self-reliance standpoint. And you always have somebody go in and goes, "Isn't that illegal?" And I go, "Yeah, but if you catch me, I'm going home." So we're good, because I'll teach you in those classes treble hooks. You'll see I carry treble hooks in my bag assorted. I actually got some in there. I'm not going to pull them all out. But I carry small treble hooks. If I find a pin oak tree or an acorn tree or something like that, I can take and put those on there, lay those out in the thing. If I know there's turkey or squirrel in the area, I'm catching turkey or squirrel. I'm fishing for squirrel. You know, that's a real hillbilly right there when you can fish for squirrel and turkey, you know. But you use those to catch it. Hey, if I get in trouble for that, then okay, I'm home, I'm in a warm place, and I'm being okay, okay? The slip noose traps, once again, if you were in most states, these traps are not legal to set. I'm not out trapping with these. These are self-reliance preparation type deal. It's a kill trap, it snares, it strangles. Hemp rope or jute rope, it comes off real fibrous, so you can tear it apart and make what they call a bird's nest to catch a flame and start a fire. If you go watch some of Dave Canterbury's videos and stuff online, he does a lot of that where you can see using different types of fibers and stuff to start fire. Great little bag to do, but that's more of that traditional mindset. All the guys are like, "What the heck is that?" Some of the ladies might know. It's a sewing kit. You got to mend your clothes. Better know how to sew. So it's a sewing kit. I put extra needles and stuff in there. Pair of good gloves, leather palmed. If you want to use cloth on the other side, that's fine. And I put this inside of them because I like the palms of my gloves to be tacky. And duct tape and Gorilla Tape always makes your gloves tacky in the rest of your bag. So why not, if you like your gloves tacky, just put them inside your gloves. Makes it work, like using rosin. But a small roll of this, you can buy it at Home Depot. It's Gorilla Tape. It's like 100-mile-an-hour tape. This stuff is actually thicker than duct tape. Really nice. Having it in your bag, it's great stuff. Got a lot of stuff in this bag, don't I? Let's go on in here. More There's my third roll, 25 feet. Small Atlas, ace bandage. Now that's not everything out of here. I didn't bring out a lot of the medical stuff just because there's no sense in me pulling all that. My big knife, it stays on me and it's out in the car. I carry a habless bush tool. It's called the jungle tool. It's about 16.5 inches long. It's a cross between a bolo barang and a kukri. It's got a slight curve to it. I can still peel an apple and stuff with that. And then I also carry the bush tool. Did not want to bring those in because they're there. I did carry in one of my small. This is another good company. This is called Blind Horse. This is one Dave Canterbury carries a habless bush tool and a blind horse. He also likes the Tops Tom Brown tracker. He carries it too. But this is a small, just a work knife. But I mean, I can still do just about anything I want with this. If it's striking fire, if I come in and I can use the back of it to, if I don't cut my arm off. It's going to make a liar of me. Okay, so I can't fire out of that. But you can use it to strike. You can do it, things of that nature. And it's a small knife. It's easy to go with. Come with a really nice little leather holster. That's the basic in this bag. I do carry my firearm in the back. There's some more food, stuff that you can pick up. There's a little disposable scalpel back there that's supposed to be up front.
Have you ever used clothes dryer?
Yes, your lint from your dryer is a great source of fire. Great source of tinder to catch fire. Cottonwood. Cotton with Vaseline's a good one. It'll actually, you can make a small lantern out of cotton balls with Vaseline on them and a piece of aluminum foil that will actually, one cotton ball with enough Vaseline on it will actually heat and boil 1 quart of water. That's pretty neat when you're talking about a cotton ball. I know we're getting close on time, so one last time, questions? Yes, sir. I can. I'm a professional on this part of it. I have people that come to me they put their bags back together. When you make one of these, if you're going to make a bug out bag, you're going to pack it about 564 times and you're still not going to get it right. No. Nope.
Dave Canterbury, you mentioned him several times. Did you give his website?
It's Pathfinder, the pathfinderschool.com. Yep. If you just go in and you put Dave Canterbury, it'll come up with his videos, his YouTube. He gives it away on there all the time. Yes, they do have the Self-Reliance magazine. It's really good. Blind Horse Knives is a big part of that. Getting that out. Those guys at that company are great too. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have something that we can take home?
I post all this stuff online on my Facebook page, Prepping 101. So if you go on there, you'll see classes that I have coming up, 3-day classes, week classes. The biggest thing that I like to do is people just call me up and get groups of people together, 4 to 5 people. I come out and we go out and we actually do this stuff.
What are some of the quick things you look for in property?
In property, water. Number 1, access and vicinity to a large city, don't want it. I want a place to where I know the community. If I buy a place, I want to be active within that community. Because if you're a new person buying a piece of property and you got people that have lived there for 20 years, guess who's not coming to their property if they don't want you there? So if you're not friends with the people around you, you're in a lot of trouble. So make friends. Make friends with that farmer. Even if you have a tractor and you can plow your own garden, go down the street. If that gentleman does it for a living, and hire him for $100 to come plow your garden that year. Make a friend, spend the money, put it into the community, and grow your community from within. Prepping 101 at hotmail.com. That is actually my email. 101 at hotmail.com. And my phone number, once again, is 423-218-6594. And like I said, I probably won't answer for you. Leave me a message and I promise I will call you back. If you go onto Facebook, if you're a Facebook person, it's Prepping 101. So it's the same as the email address. like me will open it up, and I'll go on about once a month, and I'll post classes that I'm going to do. I put little tidbits on there. The 10 C's are on there for what's to go in your bag, things of that nature. So there's a lot of free information out there. When I come to things like this, I do it because it's my duty. This is what I think that I have to do. If I come out and teach a church, I do a lot of churches. I go out and do that. I don't try to charge a lot, pay for my gas, pay for my time that I'm out there teaching, that I'm away from my family. And a lot of times my family will come with me. My 4-year-old, traditional fire starting, he's already getting smoke. He knows that he can eat ants and he can eat crawfish and he can go out and fish. And, you know, he'll be running around the pool going, ants, ants. You know, 9-year-old, she's not killing anything, but she knows how to. She knows that if her and her brother got lost, that she's willing to do so to feed them. So guns, if I have, with the little ones in here, if you got grandkids and babies, one of the things I ask you to do, don't keep firearms away from your kids. Teach your kids about firearms. When you keep it away, they get upset. And I know he's getting ready to pull me off over here, so I'm going to shut up.
Appreciate it, man.
I'll be around.